There's just one place to celebrate a happy new model year. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Drive away in a new Integra. Only $299 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors, 305-345-3649 or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
Mic checks echo, I'm the sound of the brawl. Canvas creaks, flesh slaps, bodies rise and fall. Steel cage dreams, no escape. All pain, blood stains mixed with the sweat and the chain. Adrenaline surging my veins, spit fire. Crowd chants feeding my soul's desire. Turnbuckles tremble when my wrath collides. Glory's the belt and I'm taking the pride. Boom. The squared circle where legends collide. Boom. No mercy, just a wild ride. Boom. Lights flash, fist clash, can't resist. Boom. The squared circle digest. Pyros ignite, shadows dance in the glow. Ringside roar, it's a gladiator show. Chokeholds tighter than the grip of the night. Climbing the ropes to new championship heights. The mat's a battlefield, no room for doubt. Every move calculated, every scream a shout. The bell tolls louder than a sinner's regret. This is the place where the bold never forget. Boom. The squared circle where legends collide. Boom. No mercy, just a wild ride. Boom. Lights flash, fist clash, can't resist. Boom. The squared circle digest. Boom. The squared circle where legends collide. Boom. No mercy, just a wild ride. Boom. Lights flash, fist clash, can't resist. Boom. The squared circle digest.
We are live, I hope. It's your boy Frankie Fresco here, trying to learn how to do this without the help of Sean. Of course, we have a special guest, none other than the man that knows wrestling just like we do. Ladies and gentlemen, Finn Sammy. What's going on, Finn Sammy?
Dude, Frankie, nice to be here with you. An interesting week so far. Commander. You're doing a great job so far, so keep going.
Look, man, I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. It's different here when I don't have Sean. Give me a thumbs up, guys, if you could hear me clear and if you could hear Finn Sammy as well. I think we sound good. I see you guys on the chat board. Josh, what the F? Where is Sean? Of course, Sean is slacking. No, Sean was having some difficulties with his vehicle, so he had to go and jump off. But he might join the chat board, so don't be surprised if he jumps on the chat board to go ahead and also chit-chat and criticize me and Finn Sammy, but mostly me, because he always has a beef with me. I don't know why, but I really appreciate Finn Sammy being part and taking in the opportunity. I told him, I was like, yo, I need somebody. Can you come and help me out? And he's like, absolutely. So thank you so much, Finn Sammy, for being part of the show tonight. And I don't know, Finn Sammy's helping me. As you can tell, we have a little bit of a different background. So shout out to Finn Sammy. He's helping me with all this stuff. If there's any kinks or anything like that, you guys, I'm going to do my best to try to get and figure this thing out. But first and foremost, thank you all you guys. I'm seeing you on the chat. We want shine. Screw you, Josh. There's Stony Stanley, of course. Adrian, what's up? No doubt. I see you. Steven Gonzalez as well. All you guys sharing, thank you for being here as well. All you guys, I appreciate you guys always tuning in. Don't forget to hit the like and don't forget to share. All right, so we got a couple of topics we wanted to talk about. Um, we wanted to start off with some controversy that's been going on in the world of the NXT world, aka obviously WWE. And that is somebody that a lot of you guys do not like. And that is none other than Rich Holland. And a lot of you guys don't like Rich Holland because Rich Holland, of course, injured Big E. Well, if you guys haven't paid attention to NXT, Rich Holland did get hurt and he's been out. And now he's been out for about 7 months now. And what ended up happening is the WWE went ahead and took I guess you could say they made a business decision not to renew his contract, even though he's injured. They are paying for his medical bills, but they're not covering him for anything else. So they're paying his medical bills. They're not paying him anything else because he's not able to go ahead and be on the ring. So he came out on record to say that he doesn't have enough money to pay for his mortgage. He's broke and he is now being let go because they're not renewing his contract. Sammy, with that being said, what do you think of the WWE possibly should they do a union or should the wrestlers come up with the idea of now bringing up a union in order to kind of avoid something like this?
I'm gonna put my pre-law bachelor's degree on good use tonight about that. As far as I know, WWE wrestlers and independent wrestlers basically are independent contractors. And I was doing some research before the show when you sent me the topics, and basically the National Labor Relations Act, the LRA, basically says that contractors cannot be basically unionized. There are certain exceptions in construction and other things that basically in New York and other places they're being structured where you can. But across the board, unions, contractors cannot unionize because you are giving a service to a company. That's why they don't have a medical, an employee, a WWE or TKO employee probably has insurance and other stuff, but the contractor doesn't. Just because of the fact that when you are a contractor, you are responsible for your gear, for your travel. They give you they have arrangements and stuff. They give you schedules and stuff, but the wrestlers mostly either in WWE, WCW, when that was the case. Independent wrestlers all over the world basically get a contract, get paid, but they're responsible for everything. So in the 80s, of course, that very famous story of Jesse Buddy Ventura wanted to make a union, and for years he was right out to Vince McMahon, and years later he learned that was Hulk Hogan the one who turned who went to Vince and said they're trying to unionize. And Jesse Ventura was fired. He went to do Predator and the things, and then he later came back. But that's a never-ending topic of the unions. It's rough because when you are a contractor, you basically you have a better probably a better salary, or your responsibilities on yourself are, and the risks you're taking are larger. So Rich Holland basically in a very bad situation, not any different than all other independent wrestlers that get hurt and have no insurance, and at this time they're basically paying for his rehab as I know, but the independent wrestlers don't get anything. If you break
But
a
let,
leg, if you
but
break an arm, you're by yourself.
But let me ask you this. It looks like the WWE and all the other wrestling, like for example, AEW has a different format, right? AEW does cover you as well while you're injured, right?
Yes.
So why is it that the biggest wrestling company is not doing that? They only cover the injury, but they're not giving them like a stipend or they're not giving them anything while they're out. Because remember, they got bills to pay too. And if you're not performing on the ring, then all of a sudden, how are you going to pay the light bill? How are you going to pay the water bill? How are you going to pay your mortgage? How are you going to pay your car payment if you own a car? How are you going to pay all that? They're covering your injury, which is perfect. Obviously, you got hurt in the ring, but dude, like you're screwed. Like you're pretty much have no chance of surviving if you don't have any money saved up. It's pretty much on you to pretty much know how to finance yourself and make sure you have money saved up for something like this that could happen. And keep in mind, a lot of these guys like to just go ahead and party, and gals like to party. They'll spend their money. They'll do this. They'll do that. But because they don't expect themselves to get hurt. But dude, this is terrible. This is something that it feels like the WWE, being the biggest wrestling company out there, should at least, if they don't want to make a union, that's fine, but they should give them at least something while they're out. Like they should have that included in their contracts where, hey, if they get hurt, they still get a weekly pay. Might not be the same amount that they usually get paid for performing, but at least something to keep themselves under 2 feet because, bro, like I'm dying out here. How am I gonna pay my bills, bro? and they
But
and they make a ton of money.
in the case of Holland, basically, the problem is that he's still getting paid. The problem is the contract runs out November 14th. And after November 15th, 14th, he doesn't going to make any money. He's in that fine line with the contracts running out. And once the contract runs out, basically you're out. So he's still getting paid as of right now. I just checked that. So he's getting paid the November 14th. He got in a TNA show. But the problem is after November 14th, he's on his own. So that's basically what's he worried about. And it's a very bad situation. It's basically bad luck that you get injured right when your contract is running out. Yeah,
Mhm.
because he doesn't. At least Big E, when he heard Big E had a contract in WWE, basically either extended the contract or made some adjustments. WWE TKO never loses. If you're injured and they want you back, the time you're under the injury, it doesn't count for the length of the contract. So they can basically extend you. If you are out a year because of injury, it's not that they your contract ends that day. No, they can go back and say you've been injured 11 months, so we're gonna do a rollover and roll over that contract for 11 months. That's not what happened here. And basically, I think that's what happened to Penta's brother, right? I'm missing the name. When
Ray
he wanted
Phoenix?
out, yeah, Ray Phoenix. When he wanted out of AEW, he
Mhm.
wanted out, and he thought the contract was over. But Tony Khan said, no, you were out, injured. I'm gonna roll over your contract. You have to stay here and all that. So every company does the same. They work in their own favor. The fine line is very complicated at times.
Now let me ask you this because there was another thing that happened with this Rich Holland. When he posted this on social media, a lot of the fans were giving him backlash and actually went ahead and were like saying, "Well, this is what you get for injuring
Oh,
Big E." Do you feel that that's the right thing for the fans to do? Like I felt like it's funny. I talked to some of my friends and my friends were telling me, "Reggie, good, he injured Big E. He deserves it. He's getting karma. That's a taste of his own medicine." But I don't look at it like that, man. The guy is a working guy. Obviously what happened was a mistake that happened with Big E and all that stuff. I thought people were over it, but now people are like backlashing this poor guy, and this guy is getting heat. And dude, like, if I was him, I'll feel bad too because I'm like, damn, like the people can't get over the fact that I injured Big E, bro. It's how long has it been? Like, come on, get over it, guys.
It's been a while. To be honest, I'm a big believer of karma. I do believe that the reason it's gonna get you, you're gonna get you got coming to you. But having said that, accidents happen. It's not like he injured him on purpose. Tyson Kidd is another sample of play. Draws at one time got injured in the ring. So things like that happen. It's sad, of course. You don't want anyone to get hurt. But saying karma will happen to Big E, come on, it was an accident. I don't think he did it on purpose. So it's sad. It's sad for everybody. If when you are a wrestler, you heard that story from many wrestlers, I'm sure so many times, you're putting your body, and Sean has said it so many times, you
Mhm.
put your body and your life on the line. You're basically leaving your body, your health to your opponent, to the ones who's carrying the ring. So you basically know that, your life, your health is in his hands or at
Yeah.
her hands. So uh, accidents happen. I'm pretty sure he didn't want to do that. So to bash him because of that, is sad, and it's double sad because now he's injured, and you on top of that you have to deal with that. Nobody should get crap like that done to them
Yeah,
because,
man. It
but that's
sucks
the
for
world we're living right now. So
it sucks for him. And like Adrian said, I guess he's gonna have to jump on OnlyFans there in order for him to pay his stuff because apparently he has been spending his money and not been doing a good job, I guess, saving up. But let's jump on to the next topic. A little bit more up to date topic here. And this is obviously something that happened in the ring. And this happened over the weekend. And of course, that was our girl Tiffany Stratton getting destroyed by Jay Cargo. Now, if you guys got a chance to see Saturday night main event, you saw that Jay Cargo literally, like, bro, she destroyed that girl. Like, there was like this match was like so one-sided, it was ridiculous. I think Tiffany got maybe one move in there and then all of a sudden she got destroyed. Now, the question that I wanted to bring up to you, Sammy, is this gonna hurt Tiffany? Because we could understand Jake Cargo and her new persona, her new character that's gonna be, yo, I'm a heel, possibly, or I'm this badass. You're not gonna go ahead and I'm gonna whoop everybody's ass. But we know Jade Cargo has potential. We know she's gonna probably, eventually carry that belt and see how she does and what's her run gonna be. But what about Tiffany now? Is Tiffany's character, her actual um persona. Did it get hurt? Is she gonna go ahead and still be a main event wrestler? Or because of the way she got so beat down, is she gonna become now a mid-level wrestler? And when I say mid-level, like a Sammy or like a Rusev, one of those guys that they're not main eventing any matches, but they're part of the EP, the live premium events, but they're not the head of the match. They're not the stars of the match. Do you think this beatdown hurt her?
Actually, I think it's the complete opposite, because if you ask me, Tiffany's character had been growing stale. He was so much better as a heel than as a baby face. As a baby, they changed the music. They said did so many things that basically diluted her character. And I prefer Tiffany as a heel a lot much better than as a heel than as a baby face. So the fact that he got beat up, basically creates some sympathy. If he doesn't, if you kind of get no sympathy of her being down like that, by Jay Cargill, you have to turn her heel, because either that, or then the mid card, like you say, is the rest. On the other side, I love what you did with Jay Cargill. Jay Cargill has been with WWE for 2 years now, and the wrestling ability is not great. So the monster heel character probably works a lot better for her. That character, like the very there is like the warriors, that you have to smash your opponent, because that as far as the carrying a good match in the ring, she has her limitations. So I love what they did with Jerry Cargill, but again, Tiffany, if she gets no sympathy for getting beaten like that, you have to turn her heel. But I do believe that her character already was going stale.
Wait, so you think they're gonna turn her a heel after this?
Not today, not tomorrow, but that's gonna happen eventually. Because if you ask me, I think she's a much better heel than a baby.
Sammy, I think for me, man, I think they made a mistake, bro. I think it was fine making Jay Cargo beat her up. I have no problem with that. But it was too one sided, dude. And what ends up happening here is that now that she got her ass beat down, how are you going to respect her? How are you? I mean, she's going to take some time off. Good for her. But when she comes back, what makes you think that she's going to be able to bounce back? She has her, she got her. Look, people are calling her Taffy. People are making fun of her. Like, there was a report that obviously she broke up with Ludwig Kaiser, and,
Yeah,
and now Ludwig is going out with the chick from Mexico and stuff like that. So, like, Taffy is getting beat down in all shapes and sizes in the love life and in the wrestling ring. How is she going to bounce back, bro? This hurt her. I think this is something that could have definitely, like, they should have not done it one sided. I don't have a problem with her losing, but not this beatdown.
I'm gonna ask you this way: when John Cena took 25 suplexes for Brock Lesnar and got her ass beat down, his ass beat down and on SummerSlam, do you think he hurt his character? No.
No, but come on, how are you gonna compare John Cena
No,
and
because
Tiffy? They're not the same.
they,
Like,
they care more about building Jade than what happened to Tiffany. That's for sure. They care more about trying to build her. The memorable thing about it for me is Jade Cargill beating her, not Tiffany getting beat. So that's the thing that I took away from Saturday Night's main event. So you have to.
true.
So and Tiffany, again, babyface getting their ass kicked gets sympathy. If it doesn't get sympathy, you're not a good babyface. So it's been done forever. So I don't think it's gonna hurt. And if it hurt her, that only means she's not a good babyface.
Well, we're gonna check out and see what happens with her when she comes back. Hopefully, she comes back stronger than before. Because, like, what a lot of people have been saying, her title run kind of sucked.
And
All
go
right.
and go back. Yes, when that feud with Charlotte, I think that's the one who hurt her, because that feud with Charlotte was really, really, really bad. The downfall of Tiffany Stratton started in that feud with Charlotte Flair. So that's nothing to do for Tiffany. It's been a while, a couple of months. She's been in a downward spiral. So
Awesome. All right, now let's go to an interesting topic here, guys, and this is something that has brought up a little bit of controversy, and is Bleacher Report taking out the top 20 WWE and AEW wrestlers list. Now, did you get a chance to see this list?
no, you had to tell them, but you didn't get a chance. So you had to
All right.
to.
So this is the list right now. So number one was Rhea Ripley, right? They had number two, Dominic Mysterio. Number three was Kyle Fletcher. Number four was MJF. Number five was Braun Breaker. Number six was Obafemi. Number seven was Jordan Grace. Number eight was Roxanne Perez. Number nine was Jack Perry. Number 10 was Tiffany Stratton. 11, El Hijo del Vikingo. Number 12, Javon Evans. Number 13, Blake Monroe. 14, Danny Garcia. 15, Wheeler Yuta. How did he make it to this list?
Wow.
16, JC Jane. 17, Tatum Paxley, the NXT Women's Champion. 18, Austin Theory, who's been hurt and we haven't seen him in a while. Number 19, Kevin Knight. And then number 20, Hook. Now, my question to you and, of course, the people on the chat board, do you agree with this list? Let's talk about the top five, obviously. You got Rhea Ripley 1, Dom 2, Kyle Fletcher 3, MJF number 4, and then Braun Breaker number 5. Do you agree with those top five right there holding down this list?
But you know, in their 20s, the only one that sticks out like a sore thumb is Kyle Fletcher. I don't feel Kyle Fletcher, that I see Kyle Fletcher as a team with Cody Rhodes. They're trying to mock the basically Cody Rhodes character with Kyle Fletcher. So I'm not a huge fan. I'm not a huge fan of AEW. I just because I don't have the time to see it. I think as a wrestling part, they do a great job. But I'm a school guy, so I like my storytelling, and I don't think AEW does the part. But considering NJF, I think is a much better character, a much better wrestler, a much better, more accomplished every single year than with anything that Kyle Fletcher has done. So being under Kyle Fletcher, that sticks as a sore thumb. Of course, Dominic Mysterio. I'm a huge believer, as you are, Dominic Mysterio. I think he's part of this. You know, fans right now are finding hard to to hate on Rey Mysterio. It's kind of funny. They boo him because they want to do good for him. It's weird. I've never seen a heel like that. Like it was basically the last heel I've seen like that was Eddie Guerrero. He was a heel. You
Yeah.
hated him for the stuff, but it's funny because that's his dad, basically the character he's trying to imitate. So it's kind of funny. So I think Obafemi is huge. Obafemi, once he gets to the main roster, I really hope they find a way to utilize it well. That league sucks. Yes. Jordan Grace, I think Jordan Grace is great. I'm kind of disappointed the way they've been using her in NXT, but I think she's great. Jack Perry, uh, he's been relevant, so he deserves to be in the top 10. I'm not a huge believer in Jack Perry, but he's been relevant for a couple of years, so you have to give him his props. Tiffany Stratton, of course, we talk about Hijo de Vikingo. Javon Evans is great. Javon Evans, if he was a little bit taller, a little bit thicker, that guy's so many moves so fast. So I think he's great. I
I,
love Blake. I love Blake Monroe. You cannot. I think she's the future of the women's division
oh,
of
all day, man. All day.
wrestling. So I just think she's great. Daniel Garcia. Daniel, a couple of years ago, he was kind of a rumored to be a free agent, and there was a lot of buzz about him. But once he resigned with AEW, happens with a lot of people who resign with AEW. You know, he's there. They tried to push him, but it's again the same thing that there's so many wrestlers. That roster in AEW is so big that you can get lost in every single time. So Wheeler Yuta,
Mm.
you tell me because you're the AEW guy.
No.
He's between great company because he's a great stable, Moxley and all that. But I don't think he's done that great. I don't have anything to say about JC Jane, Tyron Pexley in NXT. I think Austin Theory. Austin Theory example should be studied. I don't know if that's the backlash of this man trying to push into the moon. It happened before. Ken Kennedy happened to Ken Kennedy, happened to Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre had to leave the WWE, go around the world, go to TNA, go independent to be relevant, and go back to be a world champion in WWE. So Austin Theory, the tools are there, the charisma is there, the wrestling is there. I don't know what they're using him. Maybe Paul Heyman can find a way to adopt him to the vision or something, resurrect his career, because if that doesn't happen, I don't know what will. Kevin Knight, Hook has been kind of injured a couple.
He has. He just came back though.
So Hook is the kind of guy that he is in AEW, but I'm not sure they know how to use him.
That's true.
So I think Hook has some things that you can see that guy could be a star in the proper development. But if he goes to NXT, they develop some things, but I don't think they find a way to use him. So the list is kind of complicated because in any list it's debatable. It's a matter of opinion. You can have it, but Cal Fletcher and Wheeler Yuta are the ones who think they're kind of out of place. Wheeler Yuta in the tens, I can get that, but
Well, for me,
Damon Cody Rose at number three? I don't think so.
for me, here's the thing. I don't I think the list that they got is not bad. I think some of the orders need to be changed around because I do feel like they got Kyle Fletcher better than MJF. I don't think Kyle Fletcher's better than MJF. I don't even think Kyle Fletcher's better than Braun Breaker, to be honest with you. When it comes to who got shafted, there's two particular women that I feel got shafted. And number one, obviously, no doubt you said how old is Will Osprey? I think Osprey is like 32, if I'm not mistaken. So he doesn't fall in this list for that reason. But no doubt did mention one of the girls that I really wanted to see on the list, and that's none other than Sol Ruka. I think
Oh,
Sol Ruka should
yes.
have definitely been there. Even though Tatum Paxley is the NXT champion, Sol
Yeah,
Ruka
but still
held
got
that.
more.
She's been holding the speed championship. She held the North American championship. That girl has been working her ass off. I don't understand why they didn't put her on the list. I think they kind of shafted her. I would have gotten somebody else out of this list. Probably Wheeler Yuta would have been out of here. I probably would have probably asked Austin Theory to get out of here because those guys have not. They haven't been. Um, they haven't been wrestling. They've been hurt when it comes to this. So it's kind of like I don't see that right now as something that I would like give them. I think so Ruka has done her work, even though she's kind of I don't know if her injury right now is kind of like a gimmick, but I do feel that that is something that I would have gone ahead and I would have definitely added her. I think she's done enough
Le-
to make it to that list, and I do agree as well with you guys having their Rita Ripley. I don't know if she should be number one. What do you think about that? Do you think she should be number one in this
Yes.
list?
Yes, for sure. Yeah, for sure, she's the most accomplished of any of the one on the list. But I'm gonna ask you a question. Take out Rhea Ripley because she's the most accomplished. She's been in WrestleMania. She has had a lot of pay-per-views. 20 years from now, WrestleMania 60, 61 or whatever.
Okay.
Who you see 20 years from now saying that guy or that girl, that lady is gonna head WrestleMania? It's rough. The future of wrestling might be in trouble because unless you get some repackaging, some of those guys become stars. 20 years from now, when you have WrestleMania 60, you know, you might have to have CM Punk in a wheelchair trying to race down the ramp. I don't know with I don't
Well,
know
if you
someone else.
if we have this list right now, and you tell me, Frankie, in the next 10 years, right, who should be headlining a WrestleMania or an All In, which is AEW's main pay per view, right? In my opinion, the guys and gals that I feel that should be on the top would definitely be on the guys' side. MJF, I feel like that guy would be there. I think on the
Braun
WWE
Breaker.
side, Braun Breaker would be the other guy there.
Oh, wow.
And then on the girls' side, I think the one that I really like would be Blake Monroe.
I
Since you
love Rick
spoke about it,
Roll.
I think Blake
Yes.
Monroe is a star in the making. And
Yes.
then any other girl out there, I mean, I guess I'm not a big fan of Jordan Grace. I feel like, dude, I feel like I don't know, man. She's good. I think they did her disservice by making her lose to Tatum Paxley. I didn't like that, and I still don't like that run. The girl that I was gonna mention that I feel that also got shafted, no doubt, also pointed her out coincidentally, and that's Liva Valkyria. She's been holding it down. She held it down in NXT. She held it down on the main roster, and she has that storyline going on with Bailey. Like, dude, how can you not have her? Like, when it comes to the girls, I feel like they've shafted some of these girls. Javon Evans is a potential guy. If he bulks up, he could probably be headlining. But the other guy who definitely, in my eyes, will be headlining like a WWE WrestleMania or one of the big live premium event shows has to be Obafemi. I think Obafemi is something that has an opportunity, and they could definitely go ahead and have him. So I feel that MJF, Braun Breaker, Obafemi on the guy side. I feel that on the girl side, Blake Monroe. I feel that obviously Sol Ruka should be on there. And then obviously, I think Lyra Valkyria should be another one that we'll see like in 10 years from now holding down the WWE and AEW rosters. Who do you think, if there's any, or do you have any disagreements? Do you feel like there's anybody else that you see holding it down?
Lyra Valkyria, I think she has everything to be a superstar. She uh, sometimes for players to develop, they had to turn heel. And then they had to have a period of being heel, and then when they go back to being the baby face, they're even more loved. happened with Roman Reigns, happened with so many others. Ladder Valkyria has not done that turn, but that character development is the one that basically likes you. So Lara Valkyria still has a lot of wrestling going forward, a lot of character development going forward. I love Lara Valkyria. I think she's great. Sometimes she's too nice. So
Hmm.
she basically hurts herself, the character, by being, looking weak by being nice. I think that he could benefit from something like that. And if could buy stock on any one of that list, it would be Obafemi. I think Obafemi, the size, the character, uh, maybe some tweaks in the main roster will be needed, but of course, Braun Breaker is already established because they've been pushing it so much. But we have to wait and see if the character development is there and the charisma is there. Because Braun Breaker, you know, wrestler like Braun Breaker, there comes a time where how many times you can do a spear, and it happened to Goldberg, happened to everybody. So it's a challenge for Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker is still, when he goes to the camera, that grows tail. So hopefully he can get better at the mic, do some other things. He had a good run with once a baby face in NXT. He's been a heel for a while, but I think he has a lot to offer as well. But if I could buy stock on any one of the list, it will be over for me. I think about Femi has a future all the way to the moon, and Lara Valkyria, who's not there, I think will be great. And of course, Blake Monroe, I do believe that she's the future of women's wrestling. So the list is not bad. It's a matter of opinion. I've learned through the years that so many times those lists are bad for a reason. If the list is good, we would not be talking about it. You have to give it
Yeah,
right. So you
yeah.
do something stupid, you do something like Kyle Fletcher number 3 just to say, you see that list, Kyle Fletcher number 3, but you get the bus stuck in. So I don't give too much credit to when they do lists like that, because sometimes they're bad for a reason. They're bad for making people talk about it. But other than that, as a cohesive unit of the whole, that's basically the top 20 with a couple of exceptions like Rakiri and maybe two
I
other
do,
more.
I do also feel that Dom Mysterio, even though he's not, okay. So Dom, he's the highest rated guy, right? He's number 2 on this
Yes.
list, so he's doing better than Kyle Fletcher in this list, better than Braun Breaker, MJF, a lot of these guys. Does he deserve to be that number 2? If you ask me, because of the work he has done, because the guy works his ass off, not only in WWE main roster, but also now at AAA. And I also feel that he has gone ahead and elevated himself. He sucked at the beginning, man. A lot of people didn't like him. Did you see his pop last night on I'm sorry, not last night, on Monday, on Monday Night Raw, where he
Commander.
was like New Mexico went crazy for him. And then obviously they brought out Rey Mysterio and all that stuff. So it was like a to the next level. And I feel like Dom deserves to be in front of these guys at the end of the day, because I don't think MJF has been kind of like a roller coaster. Sometimes you see him, sometimes you don't. I definitely feel that Kyle Fletcher has improved, but not to that level. I think the only guy that I could honestly say is up there that could probably, you could say he might surpass Dom Mysterio, would be Braun Breaker, but it's not, it hasn't happened yet, because I feel like right now is when they're starting to kind of like push him and they want to see what level he could take it. But I feel they got it right. I feel like Dom Mysterio is the right guy right now. If you have to consider people under the age of 30 holding it down, I think he's the number 1 guy out there right now.
And Dominic, of course, when he takes over the Judgment Day, that's gonna be he's gonna pick it. He's gonna be because that's gonna happen either sooner or later. Either he turns babyface and he goes away from the Judgment Day, or becomes throw things out, and because when Leaf comes back, there's so many things they can do. So it's good. The next year for Dominic Mysterio is going to be huge. So with Leaf coming back and what can happen with the Judgment Day, I think it's going to be a story even more.
Awesome, awesome. All right, let's go ahead and jump to the next topic here. And the next topic is we might lose some of you guys if you guys are not AEW fans, but sit tight. We won't talk about it too much. But that is, which title run right now is the most entertaining title run in AEW? Last week we did WWE. We both me and Sean agreed that it was Dom who was holding it down. That was being more entertaining. We wanted to go ahead and ask Sammy, what did you think? What title right now in AEW is, who has you invested? Like, who is the title? Who is the
Title
storyline
holder, yes.
right now?
Well, as far as title holders, I check the list. I don't follow AEW, but as much, but I check the list. And it was easy for me because I'm a huge believer in Hangman Adam Page. I do believe
Okay.
Hangman is a wrestler that would have worked in any promotion in every era. You can have it in the 80s in WWF. You can have it in the Attitude Era. You can have it on every era. You can have it in WWE right now. In the independence, and Hammond as Page has the kind of character, that that it works. Is a cowboy, but he's a modern cowboy. He could have been an old-fashioned cowboy. He's a guy that works. I think that feud he had a couple of years ago with oh my god, I forgot his name. Uh,
With Moxley,
no,
Swerve.
Swerve. I think Swerve's also awesome, but that 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 feud with Swerve was awesome. You will not have to be following AEW just to follow that feud.
Well,
I didn't watch AEW, but I said that's a feud I need to follow. So that's the kind of guy that know how to get you invested. And I think I'm truly leaving a Hangman Adam Page. So I
Well,
think
currently, Hangman and Samoa Joe are beefing. So that's the match right now that they're trying to kind of like sell right now for us in the heavyweight belt. And the crazy thing is, if you guys, some of you old school who have followed AEW back in the day, Hangman did this thing where he dressed up as like I forgot what. You know that the little I don't know the name of it. The guy that when you poke his stomach, he giggles. The cookie guy. You
the
know what I'm
Pillsbury
talking?
Doughboy, the
The
Pillsbury
Pillsbury
Doughboy.
Doughboy. So he had something like that before, and they had like I guess they had him all come out on Dynamite, and Samoa Joe remembers that, so they started beating up on obviously because it was Halloween, they were beating up on him, thinking that that was actually Hangman Page because he did that before that he hit like that, but this time he got the upper hand because he actually came back in the ring and Tony Schiavone had like a mask of the Phantom, and he actually Hangman had the wig and had the Phantom mask. So then what ended up happening was he was able to go ahead and attack Samoa Joe as the Phantom and Tony Schiavone. So that was that kind of slick move that they did in order for them to sell Hangman and Samoa Joe. In my opinion, right now, Sammy, bro, if you guys are not tuning into this, you're missing out. The match, the belt that is making headways and is just overall just the most amazing thing going on right now. It's none other than uh, Okada, baby, Okada, and this matchup between Okada and Takeshita is amazing, man. Like if you're not gonna okay, if you guys don't want to tune into AEW, I get it. Their storylines sometimes suck, but I will say this, man. If there's one thing you gotta check out are the highlights between those two. They don't have to say anything. They don't. They really literally don't. But these guys are creating a storyline that is just selling you, bro. Like on Saturday in Collision, you could tell it was funny. Maybe not that many of you saw because I think they only had like 200,000 viewers for that show. But Okada does his move where he goes and he sticks the finger. So instead of him sticking the finger to the camera, he goes and he sticks the finger to his tag team partner, which in this case was Takeshita. So this is the second and third time that he's done this during like he did it when they were supposed to have the whole Don Callis family and all that. So they're creating such a great story between these two guys that it's selling, man. And I'm telling you guys, if you guys don't watch AEW, that right there is the most entertaining storyline and belt right now. And I want to see those two guys. So I can't wait to see those two guys duke it out for the AEW belt. That Okada has the I believe it's the unified championship belt or yeah, unified or continental championship belt. All right, let's jump on to the next topic. And this one's an interesting one. This is the one that where people are talking like crazy about. So, as you guys noticed on Saturday, they had the John Cena announcement of his big tournament and all this stuff. And we got a preview on Saturday that they're going to go ahead and do a 16-man tournament to determine who is going to be facing, of course, John Cena on his final match on that Saturday night main event. Finn Sammy, there's a list. Obviously, the list that I have is based on the people that they showed on the
On the video.
video that particular Saturday. So these are the guys that they've gone ahead and mentioned. So I'm assuming these guys are gonna be in it. So we have The Miz, Rusev, Solo, Sheamus, LA Knight, Drew McIntyre, Penta, Carmelo Hayes, Bronson Reed, Gunther, and Dom Mysterio. Obviously, the matches that they announced on Monday is Rusev versus Damian Priest. So we could add Damian Priest onto that. And the other match that they added, if I'm not mistaken, is Shinsuke versus I forgot who he's gonna face. I don't recall. If you guys can remember, I don't remember. But Shinsuke is the other guy that they
Sheamus.
added.
Sheamus.
Sheamus, correct. He's fighting Sheamus. So if you add up all those people, so we got The Miz, Rusev, Solo, Sheamus, LA Knight, Drew McIntyre, Penta, Carmelo, Bronson, Gunther, Dom Mysterio, Damian Priest, and Shinsuke, and it's 16 people. That leaves 3 slots left. So, Finn Sammy, it's your opportunity. WWE storyline right now. Mr. Writer Finn Sammy, tell me, who are your 3 wrestlers that you would include on this tournament that you would like to see compete for the chance to
Oh
meet John
boy.
Cena on his last match?
I
And if
don't know.
you
I don't know. I have any so much time to think who would I say, but I have a hunch that they're gonna find. They say people who don't even go here. Fans are saying it's Edge, it's Edge, it's Edge. I don't think Tony Khan is gonna allow that. I don't think Edge is gonna be in the tournament. If you had the opportunity to have Edge, you basically move into the main event. You don't put it in a tournament to basically clean the tournament to find John Cena at the end. That doesn't make any sense. So let's take Edge out of the question. Somebody that doesn't go to WWE right now, Mike Cardona. I would not be shocked if John Cena
okay,
basically had more from Mike Cardona because he's a fan of Mike Cardona. Mike Cardona has been looking to get into back into WWE for a while now. So if John Cena has some push, Mike Cardona makes a lot of sense. From TNA, Joe Hendry,
yep.
because he was at WrestleMania. He's kind of hot. He's in TNA, so that makes sense. I would have to think who else would have had to be there. Probably someone else uh, from TNA, someone who's been out of probably Chris Jericho doing the tournament, and basically, I don't think Jericho will be determined, but that's the kind of match you do a surprise. He gets screwed out of he turns heel, and you get the feud start running because of the first match. So those will be my 3 names: Mike Cardona, Joe Hendry, and Jericho will be my 3.
Okay, I like it. I like it. I gotta say that I do like it. You didn't mention Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar is not on that list. There's a couple
No, I
people.
don't think about that. He will clear the tournament. That doesn't make any sense for me. It would not. I think I know who's going to win the tournament by now. But having Brock Lesnar there, he will have to clear the field because he already beat John Cena. What sense does it make to have him beat everybody, go to the final, and beat John Cena again? So
Well,
I don't.
remember, this is a couple of the wrestlers who John
Yeah,
Cena has
you're
had
right.
previous beef with and had new people he's never faced and all that stuff. So he's had a little bit of everything, in my opinion. So for me, my number 1 person that should be in this list, you mentioned him as your number 3. That is Chris Jericho. How can you not have Chris Jericho in this tournament? And you know what? Chris Jericho, he signed. He technically, I think he's officially signed to WWE now. I don't know if they're keeping it under wraps, but if you saw a couple weeks ago, he was sitting right along Kevin Owens. So it goes to show you now you're associating yourself with WWE wrestlers. There has to be a way to go ahead and have this particular wrestler join the tournament. Now, this is the only thing that will suck, Sammy, is the fact that I didn't like the fact that they announced the matches for Monday. I wanted them to be surprises, and if they do the surprises, if they're not gonna do surprises, and they're just gonna go ahead and announce who they're gonna be, then I don't think Chris Jericho is gonna be in the tournament. That's what I
Yeah,
feel. I
but
feel
they
like
can always have the mystery opponent. The like the bacon stuff. The shadowy guy that's going to be a mystery opponent, and whomever is going to face the mystery opponent, they can do that. They can find that.
you know what? You're probably right. You know what they could do? They could probably have somebody, and then like let's say for example Carmelo Hayes, since he's on the list, and then have the Miz attack him from behind, and then somebody has to take his spot or something like that. They could do something like that. That would work.
I I wanted to add something to what you said about Jericho. Chris Jericho had that cruise of Jericho every 2 years, right? The cruise of Jericho this year compared to last year, all the wrestlers that are there has some affiliates to WWE or TNA. There are no AEW wrestlers on the Jericho cruise, so that might be telling because things like that when you had so many independent wrestlers, so many wrestlers in AEW, and this year I think that the cruise is in January or March of next year,
Yeah.
uh, and you don't have AEW wrestlers, or you have guys from TNA and WWE, former WWE guys. That might give you a hunch.
Well, There's another name. If Josh was here, Josh would go ahead and tell me, Frankie, you're right. I'm not gonna say his name. He already retired. Don't worry, guys. I'm not gonna say Goldberg. Goldberg would have been one. If he would have done a good job in that matchup with Gunther, I
He
probably
did
would
burn
have mentioned.
bridges. He burned a lot of bridges that when he went out the door in WWE,
Well,
having a
but
time and
man,
stuff.
come on, man. Like that guy looked like he was freaking like he shouldn't even been on that ring that day. That was
But
pretty bad, bro.
tell that to him. He's the one who burned the bridges. He's saying like, they treat me wrongly and what that match or
They
whatever.
did treat him wrong. They did treat him though. They cut his promo, bro. Like you were gonna hear him talk, and then all of a sudden they
I
go
don't
into
know.
commercials and they
He
go
didn't
to
want
the.
it.
I thought
Send that to Peacock. I don't want to see that.
All right. So the other guy, man, again, I have to agree with you. I'm sorry. I had him on my list, so I'm not gonna change him, and that is definitely Joe Henry. And the reason I say Joe Henry is obviously because he has been selling it to us, saying, "Hey, look, I wanted to face against John Cena." They had that little back and forth feud on X and on social media, so it only makes sense to go ahead and have Joe Henry on this list because he is obviously big in the NXT world, and I think people would love to see him. I mean, he did go against Randy Orton. He got destroyed by Randy Orton, but still, it was fun. I think Joe Henry. Here's the crazy thing, too, Sammy. Depending on who you put to go up against John Cena, it's gonna determine whether John Cena is gonna win the match or he's gonna lose it. Like for example, if you put Jericho on there and Jericho's the final fight, I feel John Cena should win that fight because there's no benefit in Jericho winning. Like his career, he's coming to kind of do his last hurrah just like John Cena is. But if you have a Joe Henry versus a John Cena as a final match, I think you would have to get Joe Henry and put him over, right? Because you would hurt him. What does John Cena win from beating Joe Henry if he's in the final, right? It doesn't make any sense. I would need to have Joe Henry beat John Cena. That way he could take the next step and then people can go ahead and fall in love with him. Do you agree with me or do you feel like no, they shouldn't?
No, I agree with you, but the problem is I already know who's going to win the tournament. I think basically he's already giving what they're going to do. Spoiler alert, Gunther's going to win the tournament. Gunther's basically took out Goldberg. Gunther's going to take out John Cena, and Gunther's going to fake Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. You can bet on that. So they're having all this
I mean,
tournament,
he's
all
spoiling it
the
for the
hoopla,
fans out there.
just basically to have Gunther win the tournament. So
You're spoiling it for everybody out there, man.
yes, yes, they're going to have Gunther win the tournament.
Well, well, sir, I have to disagree because I'm gonna go ahead and give you the third contestant that I feel deserves to be in this tournament. And don't tell me because I want to be biased or anything like that. He is the biggest draw in AAA right now. He is teaming up with one of the hottest women in NXT,
They're
Lola
fighting
Vice.
over him. They're
That
fighting
is
over him.
that is my boy. Mr. Iguana with La Yesta. Of course, Mr. Iguana. He deserves to be out there
He
and
should run
be in
the
this
table
tournament.
for sure. He should run the table.
I don't think he's gonna win it because obviously Mr. Iguana is not gonna go ahead and make it all the way to the end. But I feel like, hey man, this is a good push for him. I think it would be good, and people would be intrigued to see if Mr. Iguana can actually make a run and actually fight against John Cena. Imagine you put Mr. Iguana versus John Cena. Remember, it's a Saturday night, man. It's not like
Oh,
a
brother.
Survivor Series or anything like that. Adrian, why are you hating, bro?
Well,
Why are you
that,
hate?
that illustrious list, of John, CM Punk, AJ Styles, Brock Lesnar, Mr. Iguana.
Mr.
Yes.
Iguana would be an interesting pick for WWE to put on that tournament. Now, I do want to go ahead and tell you because Sean sent me this, and of course, I know you guys are missing Sean. So I do want to let you guys know about something. This past weekend obviously was Sean's birthday, so we celebrated Sean's birthday, and remember he is big into bowling. He loves bowling and all that stuff. So if he wanted to go ahead and shut us up and tell Frankie Fresco that he could out bowl me, and yes, he did beat me twice. He did win twice, but I also won the first two matches, which were the most important ones. I kind of had to take an L backdrop in that. So for you guys that are missing Sean Stanley, I got something for you guys. Maybe I'll here it is. It's Mr. Sean Stanley, 50-50 picture, of course, signed and autographed by yours truly, Sean. So Sean, we know you're watching. We miss you for today's show, but I know Finn Sammy's doing a great job, but we still do miss you. We all have you here in our heart.
Yes.
So this was the prize he gave me for winning the first two matches. He gave me a signed autograph of Sean Stanley, of
Actually,
course.
I want one of those. I'm gonna have to ask for one. I
He
would love
did.
that.
Well, obviously I got the autographed one, but to everybody who attended, look at this photograph, bro. This guy is like
Oh
on
man,
a different level.
I
Look at that.
deserve one of those. You know, this intro, this show's intro, you know, is a Feast Post Productions intro. So you know, I deserve one of those signed and delivered to my house. Come on,
He's
Sean,
well,
where are you, bro?
Sean, you got to give one to Finn Sammy. You need to mail one to
Yes.
him. He signed both of them for me. And look, if you guys kind of could tell, this I feel like this side is Sean's really good side right here. That one right there, it really gives his personality. It shows his true look. And I will say this, no homo, but Sean is a really good bowler.
I have a question. Why is Adrian saying I don't want to talk about it?
I don't want to talk about. Oh, okay. So if you guys don't know, Adrian was there with us. We were at the bowling alley. All shout out to Adrian for coming as well. We were all there, and Adrian, and okay. So I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I kind of did last week say that I sucked in bowling, and I do suck in bowling. I'm not the best bowler out there, but I did play in a bowling league years ago when I was in my early 20s. So I did not mention that to you guys. Sean does bowl in a league, or at least he's done a league before, and he's trying to build a new league. Funny enough, he went and he told me he wants to recruit both me and Adrian, because Adrian did a really good job. He wasn't bad. He was getting better, and Sean gave us some pointers. But here's the catch. This is the reason why Adrian does not want us to talk about it. And I'm gonna throw him under the bus because hey, it's Adrian. Why not? Who cares? What is he gonna do? Come at me? No, sir. The reason that he doesn't want to talk about it is because Adrian came with his wife. Shout out to, I believe her name is Amy, if I'm not mistaken. So, she was doing a great job out there while we were bowling, and all of a sudden, Adrian lost to his wife. His wife bowled better than him. It's crazy. And he couldn't, he was shocked at the fact that he could not go ahead and keep up with his wife, and that hurt him. And for that reason he was disappointed. He did bounce back. Shout out to him, because he did in the last game, he did come in second. But before that, unfortunately, Adrian did lose to his wife. So we definitely wanted, yes, it was one game, but still it was one game, but you did lose, sir. So shout out to your wife. Your wife did a hell of a job out there. And she did take it. So
I wanted you to address the rumors that you are basically a ringer and you pretend that you don't to know bowling and basically you beat everybody else. What are those rumors true? You know, I want to know.
I'm not a ringer. Like, I mean,
Inquire minds want to know.
well, this is the thing. On the first match that we had, Sean was winning the whole match, and then in the 10th pin, if you guys don't know, I got a spare. So if you get a spare or strike on the first two bowls that you do, you get a third try. So I was able to go ahead and throw a spare, and then I threw a strike, and I was able to win that one, beat Sean by 1 point. 118 to 117. And Adrian got mad at me because Adrian's like, how are you gonna beat the birthday guy? I was like, hey, bro, he's the one who challenged us, man. So we gotta step it up. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, I think he was taking it easy on us, because in the last two matches that we had, bro, he was destroying us. He was throwing like 156 or something like that. I could do like 150 if I keep practicing. The best score I've ever had is somewhere around maybe like 180 or something like that, but I've never bowled a 200 or anything like that. So, Sammy, are you a bowler?
No, not to self. Don't go bowling with the guys. Then make it that's not. Don't. I'm not going bowling with you guys. I just will suck at it. So
And
nope.
no, Josh, I did not use the net, aka the bumpers. No, I did not use that. Actually, Adrian should have probably used it at the first couple of matches,
Oh
but
boy.
eventually he got the hang of it. Sean gave him pointers, but so that's what happened this past week, and I just wanted to show you guys, of course, the souvenirs that we got here from Sean. But going back to the 16-man tournament, so you mentioned that Gunther wins it. So actually, Wrestle Talk actually went ahead and pointed out all this. Now keep in mind, Sammy, you're saying that Gunther's gonna win, but look what they had here. They had in the first round, they had Penta versus Rusev, and that's not what's happening. We got Shinsuke versus Sheamus, and we have Damian Priest versus
Oh,
Rusev.
I'm not going by what anybody said. That's just my opinion. I just think Gunther's going to run the table. I have not looked anywhere.
Because look, this is the list that they had, and this is the spoiler alert. But if it's already wrong because of the simple fact that they like it doesn't match the first two matches that they announced. Maybe WWE saw this list and said, "Yo, we gotta flip it around that way they don't find out." But the
They,
list,
they did that with WrestleMania 4, that they had Macho Man in the same bracket, and they filtered that out and they changed it. So try to not to spoil the winner. We'll have to wait and see.
all right, so this was the list that they had. They had Penta beating Rusev. They had Gunther beating Sheamus. They had LA Knight beating Bronson Reed. They had Solo beating Shinsuke. So they did have Shinsuke on this list. So that's interesting. Carmelo beats The Miz. Drew McIntyre beats Nathan Frazier. So they have Nathan Frazier as one of the guests on there. Javon Evans versus Matt Cardona. They have Joe
Nakatona,
Henry.
good.
So they do have Matt Cardona, which is one of the guys you predicted. And then the last one that they had was Joe Henry versus Trick Williams. So somewhere in between, they would have to get. I don't know how they have Javon Evans in there because I don't think he was originally on the
And
list.
Trick Williams.
And Trick Williams. So well, remember we got three. So out of the three, Cardona and Henry would be the two, and
They
then
will have
Trick Williams would be the third one. So maybe something might have happened in order for them to add this guy into the list. And then what they have in the next round would be Gunther defeating Penta, LA Knight beating Solo, Drew McIntyre beating Carmelo, and Javon Evans defeating Joe Henry, which would create the semifinals, which the semifinals would be Gunther beating LA Knight, which we all know LA Knight never wins, of course. And then Drew McIntyre beating Javon Evans. And then finally, the final being Gunther versus Drew McIntyre and Gunther winning, beating Drew McIntyre. And it would be Gunther, the guy that you say is going to make it. And they
I've
actually
not
have
seen
it
that.
as they actually have Gunther defeating John Cena on
Okay.
Saturday Night Main Event.
Me too. Yeah.
So, uh, hopefully, I don't know. I don't want Gunther to win it, bro. I think they should give it to somebody else. Drew McIntyre, he's been a workhorse. If he's on that list, like I said, Mr. Iguana, if he's out there, I hope they put him in there. He would be a workhorse. I don't think Dom is gonna make it because I think Dom is gonna go against him on Survivor Series. So I don't think I see him there. But I wouldn't be surprised if Matt Cardona also makes a nice little run as well. So, oh wow, look at Adrian, bro. He LA Knight retires John Cena. Yeah,
What piece?
this guy keeps dreaming. Josh says that he sees it going Edge versus John Cena. Ooh, I mean, it could happen.
If there was a possibility of not having the tournament, the edge probability will be more. But you're not gonna have an AEW guy basically run the table, and
Well,
it's the
here's the
same.
thing. Here's the
It's the
thing.
same thing. Remember, if Tony Khan will have to sign off on that because Edge was year. I'm sorry, he was hurt for how much? Almost a year, ten
Yeah, but
months.
he's out of his AEW contract. He's
I
out.
don't think. I don't think he is.
Yeah, he's
I
out.
still.
November. He's a free agent, so he could
Yeah,
literally go back.
again, this is the rollover. You had the rollover of the months he was out. I don't think it's the same thing that happened. I don't think it will let him walk away.
Here's the thing. I'll give you a reason why if they were to let Edge out of Copeland go to WWE, I think Tony Khan would allow it, and I'm gonna tell you why, man. Because what better way to have Adam Copeland get some big ass momentum in the WWE world, and then all of a sudden come back to AEW, and then you're gonna bring everybody's gonna be following Adam Copeland over to AEW, and
More,
the AEW gets exposure.
more of a reason that basically there's a better chance Tony Khan allows it and Triple H doesn't. I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't see it in a
I
world.
mean, you're right. I do feel like Triple H probably would tell him, "Hell no, go fly a kite." But I definitely
Yes.
feel that Tony Khan, if he's able to do it, and if he has something an agreement, like kind of like a shake hands with Edge, telling him, "Yo, go do your thing over there in WWE, and then come back to me," it would be a very, very good business decision from Tony Khan. And of course, obviously, I guess Edge would have to go ahead and kind of agree to that. So We'll see definitely if, like I said, we got our three guys. So Sammy says Matt Cardona, Joe Henry, and Chris Jericho. I say Chris Jericho, Joe Henry, and Mr. Iguana. So the only guys that we say differently is Matt Cardona and Mr. Iguana. Hopefully we get one of those two guys into the tournament. At least that way they can showcase themselves. All right. Our last topic before we call it quits for the show tonight. One thing that and it kind of leads up to the segue, obviously, because we're talking about Matt Cardona and Mr. Iguana. These guys are in different WWE and different wrestling organizations, so they're not in WWE. But if you guys have noticed, the last couple of weeks, we've been having something kind of interesting happen. And here's the thing that has been happening: the fact that WWE wrestlers are winning wrestling belts from these other organizations. And I'll give you a perfect example. Obviously, Trick Williams, he was the TNA champion for a while before Santana beat him. All of a sudden, Kalani Jordan is the women's heavyweight TNA champion. So she's holding the belt in TNA. In the AAA world, Dom Mysterio is the major champion over there at AAA, who's another WWE guy. And then, of course, last but not least, this past weekend, Ethan Page and Chelsea Green won the mixed tag team belts from, unfortunately, my boy, Mr. Iguana, and his partner. We're seeing all these WWE wrestlers all of a sudden win these belts from these other organizations. Sammy, let me ask you, man, do you think that is the right move, or do you feel that this is kind of a disrespect to those wrestlers who've been putting in the work at those other organizations? What do you think?
I remember a couple of months ago, I saw that TNA pay per view that basically everybody in WWE won beat the TNA guys, even for the championship. The AAA one when they were on YouTube in the afternoon. The WWE guys ran the table and basically beat all the AAA roster. It feels like the times of Vince McMahon. When you know Vince McMahon, there was no way that the guys were gonna lose uh, any match with anyone that comes from WCW or the NWM or whatever. Uh, I don't like it. I think you had to have some kind of parity. If they basically are your allies and basically are your assets, because WWE has a partnership with TNA, and and have a basically acquired a deal to acquire AAA. uh, why not try to find some kind of quality? Why don't find a way to raise the level of the opponent by not doing that? Because it's what you said. The champions all over across the board are basically WWE guys, and the guys that are TNA are jumping to WWE. Jordan Grace, Joe Henry is gonna probably do it eventually. So you're basically depleting your assets every time you're taking away the talent, and you be done with the talent. So I don't think it's a good business model for WWE. They should find a way to enhance it, but it's not different than anything Vince McMahon did on the days of where he was the owner of the WWF, WWE. That they are the superior brand and they're gonna find a way to win. So I think that's a bad practice, but it's a practice that has been done for many years now. So it's not surprising, but it's disappointing if you ask me.
Okay, for me, I was leaning to that. I'm not gonna lie to you, Sammy, but here's the issue that I have. WWE has purchased or has had some type of contract negotiations with some of these organizations, so they have gone ahead and surpassed them. And if you want to go ahead and have your main roster not carry the belt and you want a WWE superstar to carry the belt, what better way to promote your wrestling, TNA, promote AAA to a bigger audience? People are going to tune in. If Don Mysterio becomes the AAA champion, which it is, you're going to have those eyeballs from the WWE world go and look at AAA. That's the reason why they're doing this, because they have to go ahead and get more views to those different organizations, since they have either some type of agreement or they're buying them out. Now, I don't know exactly if they bought out AAA. I think they did some partnership with them. I do know that with TNA they had like a partnership. I don't know with AAA. I think AAA they might have bought them out. I'm not too sure if TKO bought them out, but there is some type of agreement with those two. But in my opinion, man, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I, it's the right thing to do. You need to get these guys. You need to get views, and the best way to get views is by bringing some of these WWE wrestlers to their wrestling ring. and showcase them, because you're going to get more eyeballs, you're going to get more fans, you're going to have fans who are going to tune in just because of the simple fact that, hey, Trick Williams is now the TNA champion. Oh, let me go check him out at TNA. There's going to be house shows where you could go ahead and go check them out. NXT is expensive as hell nowadays. So is going to a Monday Night Raw. So is going to a SmackDown. You could go to a TNA event and go check out Trick Williams. You could go to a AAA if you're ever in Mexico, obviously. But they've been doing some shows in Los Angeles and in the California area. You could their ticket sales are not through the roof either. You could probably check them out over there. So I personally feel that this is actually a good thing. I think they should do that. I think they're not doing nothing wrong harming this. And I don't think there's nothing unethical here, because I'm going to be honest with you, Sammy. If they felt that this was something wrong, or wasn't something that they should have not done, well, then you know what? The people who should have not allowed it are those same wrestlers. You know, those guys who are fighting for the belts, those girls that are fighting for the belts. They should have gone ahead and showed their face and gotten bigger popularity and bigger brands for their characters. They weren't able to do it. TKO is going to do it for you. So, in my opinion, screw you. Let's go. Give all the belts to all the WWE superstars and just roll with it, baby. That's what we're going to do.
I get what you're saying, but there's precedent here. WWE did it before with ECW. They've got everyone, the big stars, to ECW. You know, the Big Show and whoever, and basically they crap on the brand because the top guys, were beating on the ECW guys, and you know what happened at the end to ECW. That's one. And if that was the case, why don't they do it with NXT? They don't have John Cena going to to NXT to beat everybody.
No, but they have had John Cena. They have had Rhea Ripley. They have had a lot of these stars that have been in the main roster come down to the NXT roster to promote NXT.
I don't think I don't think NXT benefited from having Becky Lynch as the champion. When that happened, I didn't agree with. I don't think I love Becky. It's not that. I don't think no one benefited from that. If you ask me, I didn't like it. You know,
How did she hurt it?
I'm not saying she heard it, but I don't think that was a great benefit of it. So for me, it was a waste. You know, for Becky, it was way for it, but that's just my taste. It's my opinion. So
Okay.
I'm not saying when you said use the word ethical, it's nothing unethical with doing that. Basically, if you're proper, you can do anything. It's not wrong. If it's right or wrong, it's not wrong. It's a matter of how you see it. If I'm a fan of AAA and I see the WWE guys, of course, you see them cheering for the guys from WWE, even more than from their guys. But in the long run, I don't think it's beneficial. In the short run, yes, you're gonna have people. Is that AAA? Yes, but how many people are gonna basically become AAA fans because I don't know because Chelsea Green and is over there in AAA. You know, you watch the pro, you keep in touch with what's happening, but it doesn't gonna make you a fan of AAA. So I get what you're saying. You probably guess as a business model, you have to any publicity, good publicity. So you do that to get eyes. But in the long run, I don't think it's going to be beneficial. But that's just a matter of opinion.
Okay, so one thing that no doubt Ro, he was like, how would one watch AAA exactly? And it's through not through Telemundo, it's actually through YouTube. Some of the stuff that
Yes,
particularly their pay per views, they usually show them on pay per
and
view.
they don't. I was they were being they've been very very entertaining. Very entertaining.
Yeah, and then he does say AAA should be on ESPN Deportes. They
In the
could be
podcast.
because if they do have the WWE live premium events now on ESPN Plus now, or what is it called, ESPN? I don't even remember
Disney
the name.
Plus. It's Disney Plus basically because that's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
app they use for everything.
So it does make sense to go ahead and add AAA on there. I think it would be a benefit. But look, I get what you say about like Chelsea Green and Ethan Page. What are they gonna get? Like people are gonna tune into those eyes over there. Sammy, they are gonna go over there because here's the thing: when you get one person, I never watched AAA. Like I never tuned in. The moment I saw Vikingo and I knew some of the wrestlers out there because I seen them on social media and stuff like that, and I've seen them obviously when they did their runs in AEW. I mean, at one point in time, Sammy Guevara and his wife, Tay Conti, were the mixed champions over there in AAA as well. So, do people tune in over there? Do some people benefit from watching these people going over there and making a name for himself? Yes, because all of a sudden, when you start going to go now, you want to see Chelsea Green. If you're a Chelsea fan, maybe she doesn't have a huge fan base, but if you're a Chelsea fan, you want to tune in. She's showing herself in NXT. Yeah, she was there yesterday. She was at AAA all of a sudden. She'll probably be in the next AAA show. So it's like you're gonna tune in because that's your favorite wrestler. That's one of your favorite ones that you want to support. I tune into AAA a lot because I want to see what happens with Dom, with Vikingo, with
Ah, you want to see Mr. Iguana? Don't deny. You just want to see Mr. Iguana.
what are you talking about, sir? Like, I mean, come on. Like, this is what you need. You need to be strategic with what you want, and TKO is being strategic with it. I'll always remember this. When the UFC was TKO, what happened was the UFC had that mindset of, hey, we're the big bad wolf, and we're gonna take over everybody. So every time they bought out a different company, they would delete that company and just bring them over, and then all of a sudden, the ones that are really good will survive, and the ones that can't get the hell out of here, bro. So, but at the same time, it brought more eyes to the product. And at the end of the day, putting these guys in TNA and gals in TNA, putting these guys and gals in AAA, it's only going to help the product. It's only going to make them more money. And I feel like it's going to be a benefit for the fans because now you could see some of your favorite WWE wrestlers in Mexico. When in the world would you have seen Dom Mysterio or Lola Vice or Chelsea Green and Ethan Page in Mexico? You would never see them, bro. Now it is.
I don't disagree with them having WWE guys in AAA and TNA. I remember him Puerto Rico, for example, in the 90s. They had the IWA. The WWC is that it's always been the big kahuna over here in
Okay.
wrestling, right? But the IWA was Savio Vega stuff, and they other wrestlers basically got it for another company. Hugo Savinovich, that took that sheriff route from Hogan, I think WrestleMania 14. So they brought here. They had a collaboration with WWE. A lot of WWE wrestlers came over here, but you didn't see them going over the going over the local talent. You had them in matches, mixed matches, tag matches, and there's nothing wrong. For example, we had Dominic Mysterio as a AAA champion, but you the matter of doing it across the board, but basically all your champions are WWE. That's the thing. Like that. A better balance, having it there. I agree with you 100% of the exposure. That's correct. That's the right thing to do. But there was a time in TNA that basically all the wrestlers were NXT champions. For me, that didn't make any sense. If you had all across the board wrestlers from other company being your champions, I don't think that's the best thing for your brand. But that's a matter. Again, that's a matter of opinion. It's nothing wrong with you getting eyes and getting the title over there, to for get more exposure. But that, the way they're doing it, that's the thing I don't agree with.
Okay, now let me ask you this because for me, I think another benefit from getting these guys and becoming champions is that you get to showcase these guys in NXT as well, right? So, like for example, Ethan Page ended up fighting at one point in time El Hijo de Wagner Jr. You would never see El Hijo de Wagner Jr. in
Yes.
NXT, but because he has a feud with Ethan Page, all of a sudden now you're seeing them in NXT. You've seen Mr. Iguana. You've
Who
seen
who
the
who won in NXT?
huh?
Who won? Who did that match already happen in NXT? The Warner and
Yes, yes.
Page?
Ethan
Who
Page
won?
won. Ethan Page won.
See, in the old territory times, it came with the territory. When you were in territory, Carlos Colon beat Ric Flair here in San Juan, but Carlos Colon went to Tennessee to beat Ric Flair. He was going to lose. So that's the way they used to do it all times. With the territory, you feed the guys in your territory. Come on, Tito Santana beat the Undertaker in Spain, or I think in Mexico sometimes. Things like that happen. You would never think Tito Santana will beat the Undertaker, but
What are
in
you
Mexico
talking
he
about?
did.
Tito Santana was an amazing wrestler.
But the Undertaker at his peak, come on,
Ah, come
that would
on, man.
never happen.
I'll take
That
Tito
would never
Santana
happen.
any day of the week over the
I love Tito
Undertaker.
Santana, but but that's an anomaly. So territories used to work that way. Over here, the Invaders beat the Road Warriors here. Yeah, nobody knows who the Invaders are, but the Invaders beat the Road Warriors here. That's the way it used to be done. But now with the TKO, basically they're trying to get everything. They try to gobble everything. So that's the thing that I don't agree with. I agree with the collaboration. I agree with the fact that I don't have any problem with having Dominic Mysterio. Whenever Dominic Mysterio lose, it's gonna be to a local talent for AAA. So that's good. But to have every single champion basically be NXT or WWE, I don't agree with that.
Now, here's another thing that did happen as well, because Mike Santana did come out and he did say that he felt cheated, for the simple fact that Trick Williams was the TNA champion and he was a TNA champion for quite some time. So by him being the TNA champion, you kind of push all the talent on TNA to the back of the line, because
Exactly.
they've been working their asses off to try to become TNA champion, and now all of a sudden Trick Williams got in front of the line and won it, and then he became the TNA champion for quite some time, and he hasn't put in the same legwork as Mike Santana. Well, you want to know something, Sammy? This is what I think about Mike Santana. Go screw yourself. You if your level of talent was not there, well then elevate yourself, make yourself better. That's the only way. Look, how many wrestlers out there go ahead and improve in their personality, or they change their character just to kind of, change the aspect. I mean, Chris Jericho is one of them. Every 5 months he's a different person, just to go ahead and get a new fresh of breath, a new breath of fresh air for the fans. Mike Santana, if you were not able to go ahead and be big in TNA and hold it down, well then I'm sorry, bro. Trick Williams was better than you. All of a sudden, Williams is going to be a champion. Now, look, because of him being the champion, Mike Santana did elevate himself and he was able to gain that belt back. But again, like, it took Trick Williams to become the champion in order for them to get Mike Santana to win it. So, in my opinion, if other wrestlers feel the same way like Mike Santana before he won the belt, well then elevate your game, bro. Give the WWE and TKO a reason why not to give the belt to a WWE roster wrestler. Make yourself out there. Mr. Iguana is a very good example. Yes, I know he lost it to Ethan Page and Chelsea Green, but he's elevating himself to this point where, I mean, he was the champion, he lost it, but I think the reason he lost it is because they kind of don't have anybody else to go up against right now. So they were like, okay, and they're creating a story with him and Lola Vice all of a sudden. So they're slowly but surely elevating certain wrestlers, and is making you go ahead and say, hey, damn, dude, because of the fact that they gave these belts to these WWE superstars, all of a sudden I need to step up my game and I should be able to beat them. And now I'm gonna make a name for myself. Now TNA show, a AAA show, any of the other wrestling organization shows, they don't need to see a Trick Williams. They got me, Mr. Iguana, going ahead and being the main star. Kind of like what Joe Henry did in TNA, right? Like, a lot of people went to TNA to watch Joe Henry because he made a name for himself. That's the reason why I feel like at the end of the day, if other wrestlers feel like they're getting screwed and all that stuff, well then elevate your game, bro. Do better.
I get that and don't disagree, but I really I remember because I watched that pay per view. I was working on Fins TV. I was editing and stuff. And I had the pay per view in the back, and everything was so WWE over TNA on a TNA pay per view because that's the bottom line, and everything was set up for Mike Santana to win that night in New York in front of he's I think he's Puerto Rican blooded, but he's basically from New York, and everything was set up for him to win that match, and he didn't win the match, and basically the NXT guys run the table. You're having a TNA pay per view when all the NXT guys running the table. Again, I get what you're saying, but if I'm a TNA fan, it's very different because if I'm a TNA fan and the WWE guys come here and run the table, I'm not gonna feel happy about it. If you had you are an AEW fan. If we have an AEW against AEW and NXT pay per view, and the NXT goes to AEW and basically run the table and beat everybody, you're not gonna be happy about it. You're gonna say, "Oh, it's great, it's a great collaboration, more eyes on AEW." I don't think we will say that. You will say, "Man, they basically got their ass beating up. That was a bad business model." So again, it's a matter of semantics. It's the way you see it. But that night, everything was way too WWE. So it's hard for me to get over that night, basically.
Let me ask you something, Sammy. These guys, the owners at TNA and the owners at AAA, do you feel that they should go ahead and you brought up AEW, because AEW did the same thing with a lot of their guys over there when they go and they fight with New Japan Wrestling and all that stuff. They have a lot of the guys that when they have these mixed pay-per-views, you know,
Forbidden
AEW,
Door and that thing.
yeah, Forbidden Door and all that stuff. They did have like, sometimes you'll have an AEW wrestler win it, and then you had somebody from New Japan Wrestling win it. Do
Hmm.
you feel that as a business owner, when it comes to like a TNA or AAA, that they should have something in the clause saying, "Hey, look, you're not gonna go ahead and take all the titles and put it on your guys. You're gonna allow some of my guys to still have a name for themselves and still carry the belt." Do you feel that they should do something like that to kind of protect their wrestlers? Because I get what you're saying, but look what you just finished saying. That pay per view was all NXT winning, and it
Yeah.
kind of puts the TNA wrestlers down on the ground. And I don't know, it doesn't seem right for some of you guys. For me, I don't care. Beat them all down, bro. Like I said, man, it's the survivor of the fittest, man. If you can't hack it, then do better, bro. Because that's what they tell us, right? If you are not able to do, I'll give you an example. I competed in a DJ battle. I made it to the third round. I didn't make it to the semifinals or finals. You don't hear me crying because those guys and gals were better than me. So what I gotta do? I gotta do better.
But again, it's different. If I'm a wrestler again in TNA, and I know TNA has a partnership with WWE, NXT, or whatever, and I work for TNA, I want to protect not only I want to protect my brand. I want to protect my TNA brand. I want to protect myself. There should not be a clause on on anybody's contract for saying that. But however, I expect for my guys to protect my brand because again, if you're having Forbidden Door and New Japan comes to the AEW and runs the table, that's gonna be that MJF's not gonna be happy and Hammond's not gonna be happy because how we're gonna do that. Basically, what they do is the same. When you have in the pay per view in Japan, you have the Japan guys win, and you have it over here. It's more balanced or a mix, because I think AEW has done a very good job. Of, you have the AEW guys winning and the New Japan's guys winning. What's the other Mexican company they do a pay per view with? I'm forgetting right now.
I remember it's the yellow one. It's like
Yeah,
a yellow
yeah, but
brand one.
right now I don't remember. Go to the chat. Maybe the chat someone remembers what
Yeah.
the company is. But they basically you had to have a better balance. That's all I'm saying because uh, it's not the fact that of course WWE is superior brand and basically their guys should win, but
Oh, I'm sorry.
kind of
Just under it's CMLL.
oh,
CMLL.
CMLL, sure,
Yeah.
yes, sure. That's what you say. The other way, I think they
Consejo Mundial de Lucha Libre.
yes. So uh, it's not the fact that of course WWE is better. Of course they're gonna basically win more, but it's still hard for me to get over that pay per view. Basically, all the WWE with except for one match, I think all the WWE guys won the match and all the championship matches. The NXT ladies walk out with the championship belts and the championship belt, World Heavyweight Championship belt, went to NXT. So I get what you're saying, but I would prefer something more balanced. That's only my point.
Well, I will say this because remember the Hardy Boys that are in TNA, they did win the championship belts, the tag team belts, over there at on NXT. So they were able to hold it down. But then, like you said, they didn't last that long as the champions. They ended up losing to what is that? The Dark State, which they're terrible.
Yes.
So I mean, like you said, like Dark State has no business beating the Hardy Boys. Let's keep it real. But they did give the Hardy Boys. But again, when you look at the Hardy Boys, who are the Hardy Boys? Are you going to remember the Hardy Boys from TNA, AEW, or are you going to remember them from WWE? WWE. So it makes sense why they went ahead and they if they decided to give up an NXT belt, it was going to go to somebody who identifies themselves with WWE instead of any other of the other companies that they're working with. So um we'll agree to disagree, but Finn
Well,
Sammy,
we kind of agree mostly. We don't agree completely, but we kind of agree mostly.
kind of. I was trying to poke you to get a little bit of the spicy Sammy on me, but I was trying to.
I'll tell you what. In my time zone right now is 10:25, so you're not gonna get spicy Sammy at 10:25. It's 9:25 where you are, but I'm in Atlantic time, so it's past my bedtime, bro.
Oh my god! Oh my god! So, with that being said, Sammy, I really, really do want to appreciate you for being here. I
Oh, I
before
love you, my brother.
before you head on out, tell everybody where they can find you, your shows, and all that.
Well, we had a great night last night on Fins TV. Over 2,100 watching on X. Alejandro Solana was there. It was great. Tomorrow night on FTSN Fins TV Plus, we're gonna have his dance. Of course, my brother Eddie Chapo. We're gonna discuss a little more of the change of the guard. If the Dolphins should basically uh, release Tua, it's been a hot topic. If the Dolphins should release Tua and move forward, they should trade. And what should they do? And of course, we're gonna talk about the problem massacre is going to be the game against the Bills, and of course, seems to be next Tuesday at 8 p.m. on the Fins TV.
Awesome. Awesome, awesome. And I don't know if you know this, but Alejandro Solana, I'm really good friends with his brother, Danny
He's
Solana.
awesome. He was awesome.
Danny Solana
Great
and
guy.
me, Danny Solana and myself, and Alejandro Solana have all played soccer together. So we used to all play together and all that stuff. So if you ever have him again on the show, on Fins TV, let him know. Be like, yo, Frankie Fresco says, yo, we miss you in playing soccer, because I'm pretty sure he'll remember me. I always say what's up to him, and he's grown so much in doing covering the Dolphins, covering the Heat. He's a cool ass guy, bro. I
Yeah, he
played with
was awesome. He was absolutely incredible.
He's amazing. And
Great guy.
Sammy, I don't want to go ahead and hold you up. I didn't know it was 10:30 over there
No,
in
come
Puerto
on. I
Rico.
have any time you want, but if you want, I can go an hour. But if you want spicy Sammy, this is not the time, Frankie.
Don't forget, guys, to follow me at Frankie Fresco. I know the show was different. We didn't have your boy Sean Stanley. Technically, we did have him for like a split 30
I need
seconds.
that picture, Sean. If
Mhm.
you're watching, send it to me. I'm gonna send you my address so you can
Yeah,
send
we
it to me.
we definitely miss you, Sean. The show is
Yes,
not the same without you.
absolutely.
And of course, me and Sean go at it. I'm pretty sure we would have disagreed on a lot of things, but I tried. I tried to poke Sammy, but it's 10:30 over there, so I'm pretty sure he wants to go to sleep. He wants to go to sleep. But thank you,
The alarm
everybody.
sounds at 5:40, so I'll
Oh,
be up
oh
in a
my
couple of hours.
God, you crazy, dude. Yeah, no, 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 no. I gotta let you go. But I want to give a shout out to everybody who tuned in. Of course, Adrian, no doubt, Stony Stanley, who was on there. Let me see anybody else that I
Adrian,
see.
check your WhatsApp, bro. I sent you a message like an hour and a half ago. Come on.
Wow, Josh was there as well. Just looking through all the people. We had quite a few people interact with us on the chat board today. Maybe because Sean wasn't here. That's probably why. 90F MF Comics. Thank you so much for tuning in as well. Let me see anybody else. No doubt, I already mentioned him. And I think I saw somebody else. I thought I had seen
is,
somebody
is
new.
is Tony related to Sean?
Tony who?
It's Tony Stanley. That is
Oh,
really.
that's his dad.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know that. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
actually,
Mr. Stanley. Then I didn't know that. That's awesome.
funny enough, Stony Stanley was, of course, at the birthday. So I finally got to meet Stony Stanley, Sean's dad. So shout out
That's
to
awesome.
Sean's dad, and of course, hold on, Stony Stanley. If you didn't know, I do know. Happy early belated birthday, because I know your birthday is on Friday, sir. So happy birthday to you this
That's
coming
awesome.
Friday. I know it's your birthday. Coincidentally, funny enough, Sammy, my brother's birthday is tomorrow, Thursday. So I want to go ahead and give the Trapio also a happy early birthday as well. It looks like everybody is like, you had Sean's birthday, you had Sean's dad's birthday, you have my brother's birthday. Everybody's birthday in November. It's crazy.
Awesome.
Pinky Dressy. Oh, thank you so much for also being in the chat. I know Sammy knows who that is.
Yes. Yes, you know
uh,
that. You've done it before.
so yeah, I think I got it. Sharon Calderon, thank you as well, which is obviously Jeff from Long Island. So I appreciate Jeff and Steven Gonzalez as well. He wrote, damn it, I just got a stiff neck. Who cares? Yeah. But I want to thank every single one of you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know it was a quick show. Me and Sean usually go for 2 hours, but obviously, I really appreciate Sammy coming and being part of the show,
I
especially at the last minute. So
was
thank
gonna
you
change
once
my
again.
handle to Sleepy Sammy, but
You're
you
good,
know,
bro. You're good. You did a hell of a job, man. I appreciate you. Yeah, happy birthday to everybody out there, bro. Everybody who's having a birthday this month. It's gonna be definitely fun. Hopefully, Stony Stanley, you have I don't know,
happy
you
birthday, Tony.
I hope he has like a drink after me. I was trying to get him to drink, but he was like, Frankie, I don't drink. I was like, oh, come on, you gotta drink at least one. But hey, if I knew it was his birthday on Friday, I would have. Even though we had the whole get together on Sunday, I would have made him like I would have tried to sneak him a drink or something. But I know he wasn't gonna drink. But it's all fun and games. But it was a pleasure definitely meeting him and
That's awesome.
everybody who went out there. So and once again, happy birthday, obviously, to Sean. He's definitely turned the big 5-0. So, and if any of you guys want to, one of these days, like, get together, go bowling and stuff like that. I mean, I saw Josh talking a lot of smack. Finn Sammy says he could play, but maybe not that well. Adrian likes to always play. We could probably coordinate it that way. We could go ahead and have
Adrian
like
probably
a
wants a rematch.
uh Adrian. I mean, Adrian, we don't need you to come for the bowling. We just need your wife to come because she's way better than you. So we want your wife. She got better throughout each match. Being as transparent as possible. She almost won me. Like at the last match, it was like Sean first, Adrian second, myself third, and then she came fourth. But the only reason she came in fourth was because I kind of like said, "I hope you miss. I hope you miss." She ended up messing up. If not, she would have passed me as well. So it was really really good. The fact that we all like tried. We were all very competitive. I'm not gonna lie to you. So shout out to everybody who went out there for Sean's birthday.
That's
No,
awesome.
no doubt says, "Yo, I just need a heads up because I got a 4-hour drive." Wow, I don't know where you at. No doubt, I don't know where
Well,
you
4 hours,
live.
right? He probably all the way west, all the way north, to basically Daytona or north of Orlando, or the way west, because
Could
that's a
be,
long
could
drive.
yeah,
That's a
that
long
is a
drive.
that is a pretty long drive, but definitely I want to thank everybody again. Don't forget to hit the like. Don't forget to hit the subscribe. If you're on X, go on YouTube for just a minute. Just go ahead and hit us a like and a subscribe. We really appreciate it. Twitch as well. Thank you again. I hope I did a good job to kind of cover for.
You did an awesome job.
Oh my
Awesome.
God, he's in Daytona. No wonder, bro. That's
I see.
crazy.
I told you.
It's a hell of a drive over there in Daytona. I've been to Daytona too, but I haven't been there in a minute. But hey, maybe next time I'm around the neighborhood.
I've done that drive all the way from Daytona to Miami. It's not a it's not a nice
No,
drive. That
last time I
Daytona.
went to Daytona was when I went to go visit my sister because my sister now lives in Destin. So before
Okay.
that, she was living in Pensacola. So that I've done the drive from Miami to Pensacola, and that drive is dreadful, bro. Like it's terrible. Too many hours driving. But I want to thank everybody once again. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe to Finn Sammy's channel as well, Finn's TV, and then obviously the Frankie Fresco channel, and then everybody, of course. Don't forget to subscribe on the Stanley Media House as well. Even though he's not here, he's flaking on us, but he'll be back next week, and we'll give you some more fighting action next week. So thank you guys, and we'll see you next time. Take care.
Thank you for having me.
This one circle digest.